Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pubbing with PizzaDog. This is the first of what is hopefully going to be an ongoing series of me just casting random Dota 2 pub games. So this is just a game from the live stream forum, and let's just hop right into it by introducing the heroes. On top lane, we have Kaddish Kaddish, lots of some random name on Phoenix in the top lane. We have a mid lane Storm. In the what looks like it's going to be a jungle Axe. In the bot lane, Terrorblade and Shadow Shaman. And in terms of die heroes, we got a solo Clinks in the top lane, a Doom, probably also going to look to go in the jungle, Crystal Maiden, Death Knell on the Mirana in the mid lane, and Win for Arca on the Panda in the bottom lane. Panda and Brewmaster, not a very favorite hero in 6.80 so far, even though Ags they did upgrade his Agnum's upgrade. But always a fun hero to go to watch. And let's go start in the mid lane. Storm having a much better block than the Mirana. So the fight starting off on Storm's hill, which is going to give him a lot of advantage in these early skirmishes. I'm not sure what the skill level of the players I'm watching. I'm just picking a game and hoping that it's a decent one. So right off the bat, Storm level 2, first hero to do so. Slightly winning this mid lane, but it's not anything significant. In the top lane, the Clinks versus the Phoenix battle, it's fairly even. 1-1 for the Phoenix, 1-0 for the Clinks. But as time goes on, this should become an advantage to Phoenix because he can just, as you see there, just spam those fire spirits, get Clinks down low, and force him to use his regen. But Clinks can also right click him fairly hard, but I do still think this one will be a win for Phoenix. And on the bottom lane, we have what looks like a little bit of back and forth. Terrorblade at about half health. Rust taking some damage, but here's the Shock, sort of negating any further aggression from the dire heroes. Crystal Maiden, scaling the Frostbite at level 1. Always a nice one, because if you can get a stun at level 1, it's always a good idea, because it gives you opportunity to set up kills. And Panda, obviously having used his Thunderclap twice already, sure, that's a lot of mana for him to have used already, which means he's going to be a bit strapped for mana in future engagements, but Thunderclap, although it does a lot of damage, is not a skill that's as crucial to a gank as something like a Frostbite, because it's not a stun. Oh, we have a reflection from the Terrorblade onto the Panda. He's taking a lot of damage. Terrorblade also skilling his Metamorphosis, which would change him. Oh, nice engagement from the die here. Looks like they might get first blood. Yes, and Cicero does go down. First blood to the Crystal Maiden. Well, lovely use of the Frostbite, and Panda must have just gotten the mana for the Thunderclap to seal the deal. But early levels, Terrorblade's already back up and looking to get a return kill. But most importantly, he did use his Metamorphosis just before he died, so that's going to be on cooldown for a long time, and that's really going to hurt this Terrorblade in the early game. Axe doing his jungling thing. He's very low. He probably should have got a bit more regen before going to the jungle. And if he goes to this camp, he might die. So I think he might just walk back, huddle back to base, and hope for better days in the future. Mid lane, Storm dominating this quite hard with twice as many last hits than Murano. That the Static Remnant does help Storm last hit a lot because you can just plop it on the ground and wait for creeps to die. And it also gives him bonus damage from Overload, so he's going to get a nice early advantage in this lane. And especially once Mirana does jump in. Nice grip from Storm, putting some serious damage on the Mirana, but I don't think he has enough damage to bring her down, especially seeing as she has her bottle to just regen her back up a little. And on the top lane, Clinks is actually winning this lane fairly hard. He's got about double the last hits of the Phoenix, but Phoenix has picked up his Tranquil Boots, so he will be able to sustain a bit longer. But I think Phoenix in this lane might just, because of this bad start, might just look to get his levels and be ganking and helping his team as early as possible with that ridiculous ulti that is the Supernova. Clinks, what is he going for? Looks like he might be rushing a Midas. Early Gloves of Haste doesn't indicate much else apart from a Midas. It might become part of Phase Boots, but if it's not a Midas, the Gloves of Haste doesn't really do much for you, so Either it's a Midas or it's probably a misplay. Phoenix going on Clinks here, putting lots of damage onto him. Clinks is almost going to go down here, but he has a salve. He should be fine. And because of his inverse, Phoenix might be able to see him before he can do anything else. But then Arrow flies, sadly connects on the creep for this Marana. And Axe, he's regened up, he's looking to come bottom. A Frostbite flies from the Crystal Maiden. The Metamorphosis has just come off cooldown for Terrorblade. So he might just look to get aggressive again. If the Shadow Shaman can land a good Hex. I'm very surprised he hasn't leveled up Shackle, because Shackle is such a powerful early game spell, because a 2.75 second disable at level 1 is ridiculous. Panda being forced to use his salve, probably from harassment, from reflection, and maybe a couple of spams of Ether Shock. And yeah. In the jungle, Doom probably jungling a little bit better than the Axe. He's 21-0, level 5, whereas Axe is 14-0 and level 4. Who got the rune? That was the... I'm not sure who got... I think one of the other here... Oh, we have an engagement on bottom. And Crystal Maiden, the Marana ult is just a little too late for the Crystal Maiden to survive. Oh, lovely call from Axe. And this is going to be the death of the Panda as well. Terrorblade's early Metamorphosis giving so much bonus damage. Just making him so powerful in these early game engagements, just because of the sheer damage he can do. Oh, Storm does go in the Marana. Back to Terrorblade. He can do 123 damage at level 5. That's kind of ridiculous. Already got his early Akila. That's going to give him some nice extra damage, some extra health, some extra HP regen. On the top lane, Klink's still winning this fairly handily, more than double the Phoenix's last hits. So this Klinks could be looking to be ganking early, and I think he's definitely going for Midas. He's got 1400 gold saved up. He's looking to get that early Midas, get further ahead on the farm and the levels. And I think this is a good play from the Klinks, because his team with the Brewmaster and the Marana and Doom and himself have a bit of a late game advantage. Heroes like Storm and Shadow Shaman tending to tail off a bit towards the late game. So Klink's getting his early Midas will help him to sort of set himself up better for the late game. And it's just early ridiculous amounts of damage he can deal and just shred squishy heroes like the Shadow Shaman and like the Storm. Doom already got his phase boots. It's going to help him with his jungling a little. Get between the camps faster and get those last hits a bit more. Storm has picked up an Invis rune. He might look to go on this Marana. The Radiants seem to be grouped up in the mid lane. But Storm just pops down his Remnants. Sadly doesn't get any last hits for him, but he'll get a nice last hit with that, with the Overload. Klink's picking up his Midas, and Axe rotating bottoms, probably try to get another kill. They might find this Crystal Maiden. Does lay out the Battle Hunger, get some bonus speed, and there's the call, and this should be the death of the Crystal Maiden. This is a lot of damage, but the Doom rotates in. Doom's a Terrorblade, so they do get the Crystal Maiden, but the Terrorblade might go down here as a return kill. But the problem is the Dire Heroes don't have as much chase. The Terrorblade significantly faster than the Panda. Is he? Yeah, he's significantly faster than Panda. But the Doom, however, even though he was faster than him, the Panda was body blocking the Doom, so he couldn't actually get through and get some hits on the Terrorblade. And he didn't have much follow-up from after the initial Doom, sitting with the Shockwave from the Satyr Tormentor. If he had something like a net, they might have had a bit more luck, but sadly he didn't. Mid lane, Sorcerer's picked up his power trades now. That'll help him tank up a little, have a bit more mana all the time. And he's nicely bottle crowing. The crow going a lot slower as a result of having an empty bottle on it. That's a nice change from Valve. The crow flying a lot slower with the empty bottle on it. Just makes sure that teams can't abuse the bottle crow strategy. Arrow missing for the Marana. She's not having much luck with these arrows. She's now a level behind Storm. Going for an early phase boots or an early treads. I'd probably recommend going for treads, because the early game burst damage potential of the Radiant team is quite significant. Oh, and there might be a gank on the Phoenix, but the Phoenix sees it going and just Icarus dives out. That ability is so nice for just escaping ganks and allows Phoenix to be a very effective solo laner. Terrorblade picking up his power treads as well. this is a very good item for Terrorblade because he might because Terrorblade does tend to struggle with health, especially in the early to mid game. So whereas he might have the early damage potential of Metamorphosis, he struggles to actually have much HP to work with. So the Power Trays will help give him a bit more tankiness and also helps his illusions tank a bit more. We have a Doom on the Phoenix, but then they do decide to not follow up. They see the Shadow Shaman, and he managed to pick up a Stomp. This should be the death of the Shadow Shaman. The arrow misses, but the Doom should have enough damage. Between the Doom and the Mirana, they do have enough right-click damage to take him down. Mirana ult used not very too much effect. I think they were going to get that Shadow Shaman anyway, so they could have saved it for later. The Doom has now picked up a snare, and Terrorblade just farming it up on the bottom lane. Although the last hits leader is the Clinks, the I actually also are ahead in goal between the Doom and the Midas from the Clinks. Then the XP nice and even, so it looks like it could be a nice game. But with this bottom tower going down to the Terrorblade, this will have a significant gold swing. Almost a 750 gold swing in favor of the Terrorblade. He does look to back off now, but he might actually look to go on this panel. Just the sheer amount of damage him and his illusions are doing is quite ridiculous. Takes almost half of the Panda's health in just about 2 or 3 right clicks from him and his illusions. That's going to be a problem for the Panda if he doesn't manage to tank up. What items the Panda got? He's probably rushing his Blink Dagger. He's about 300 away. So that will change things. That Blink Thunderclap it's almost a stun. It's not quite, but it's almost as effective as having a Blink stun. And on the top lane, the Shadow Shaman is now coming to support the Phoenix. Maybe looks to push here. The Doom is just sitting in the dire jungle. Oh, he does get spotted up by the Shadow Shaman, so that gank will fail and the Radiant will back off a little. Terrorblade moving to the jungle because the lane's pushed, getting some nice creep farm. He looks what could be an early BKB or the beginnings of a Sanjin Yasha with that Ogre Club. The dire wards kind of they're pretty good. I mean, they got wards for both runes. A bit unnecessary, but it does also give them a nice idea of what's happening around the mid lane. Storm looking like he's getting his Orchid up. Oh, that's a lot of the Terrorblade gets stunned. The Crystal Man realizes she can't do anything and TP's out, and I miss a kill on Storm. Jumps in. Mirana could be in trouble here. Lovely Cyclone from the Panda. Nice micro there, ensuring that the Mirana, but that Icarus dive is just so ridiculous. Making sure that they get a little bit of burn damage on the Mirana and ensuring that she goes down. And the Radiant might look to just do a bit of damage to this tower. I don't think they'll be able to push it down without the pushing part of the Terrorblade and the fact that the Shadow Shaman is still level 5, so he doesn't have his wards, which would help him push significantly. A nice blink for the Panda, buddy. Oh, nice, very good hex. Nice reactions from the. Oh, this is just a very, very scrappy engagement. The Shadow Shaman does go down. Lovely blink call from the Axe, but it's not going to result in much. He actually does get caught by the Crystal Maiden Frostbite, but team's not really sure if they want to go in or. Oh, lovely dunk from the Axe. So the fairly scrappy engagement does result in the death of the Crystal Maiden. Nice blink call on the Clinks. This Axe is playing very, very well. From 2 kills from that engagement, making space for the Terrorblade to push tier 2 at 14 minutes. That's kind of ridiculous. This is looking very good for the Radiant heroes here. The gold, about 1500 in their favor, XP about 2.5. So starting to build a nice lead, and that'll further increase if they manage to get this tower. Shadow Shaman just not level 6 yet. He might be saving his mana for wards, but he actually won't have enough. Oh, he does 200 gold. And he plunks the wards down. This should be the top tower as well. The Dire obviously very worried about the Radiant heroes jungling, just warding out 2 of these camps here. It is a fair point because the Terrorblade has been using the jungle fairly effectively just to get some extra levels, get some extra farm. And the Terrorblade's almost got his Sanjin Yasha already. That'll probably be about a 16-minute Sanjin Yasha if he farms a little bit every now. So Never mind. It'll be a 15-minute Sanjin Yash. He just needs one more creep. That's insane. 15 minutes. Aquila trades Sanjin Yash. That's very good farming from the Terrorblade. Um, the and that shows by the fact that he's highest on net worth by about 1,000, but almost 2,000, about 1,500 gold more than the highest die here. And we have a Mirana ulti from the Dias, so they might look to get some ganks in. They're ready. Apparently unaware. Oh, lovely. They lovely warning. Oh, the Terrorblade just goes down instantly. The Doom will probably go down here. Nice dunk from the Axe. This Axe is going to look to dunk this Crystal Maiden as well. He goes. He cancels the animation. Well done from that Axe. They knew he didn't have enough damage on the Crystal Maiden. Cancels the ulti, gets Cyclone, but that's a 3 for 2 for the rating. That's another win for them. And now the Axe takes over the Die Heroes as well, as in terms of net worth lead. All of the top 3 heroes in net worth are on the Radiant team. And that's just largely due to the 6 kills that they are up, but also due to the fact that they've taken down 3 more towers than the Dire. Doom resorting to Clink's resorting to the jungle, just getting some farming up that Orchid. He's almost there. He's got 1 Oblivion Staff and almost up for about half of his second one, so he'll be there fairly soon. That should be about a let's say 70 to 20 minute Orchid. That will help against heroes like Storm and Phoenix, just to make sure that you lock them down before Storm can wreak havoc and before Phoenix can get his ulti off. But on the same token, the Storm already has his Orchid, so he can just initiate on the Clinks, Orchid him, and probably kill him before. Oh, Axe with a nice blink initiation. That's the death of the Mirana again. This Mirana is not having a day, and the Storm zips in and finishes off the Crystal Maiden. This Mirana is not having a good day. She is currently 1 and 3. The Crystal Maiden 1 and 6. This is not looking good for the Dire heroes. Axe using that nice use of the blink net to dodge the top projectile. Terrorblade caught out, and he should go down here. So that's just a little bit of sloppy play from the Terrorblade, feeding the Clinks a bit of gold. That'll get him closer to his Orchid. He only needs about 400 here, so that's just a few more creeps, and then he'll be right there. But in the meantime, the Radiant plopping down those Rust Awards, pushing this tower down. This is going to be another dead tier 2 tower. So the Radiant just taking sheer map control. They may not have any wards on the map, which is a bit odd, but they have taken down all but 1 of the Dire's outer towers. The Phoenix has finished his mechanism. That'll help his team to sustain a little. The Storm Spirit's sitting on that Orchid I was talking about. Shadow Shaman might be rushing a blink here with his 1100 gold. I'm not sure what else he would get. He might go for Ags. But I think a blink would be better, just to give his team even more initiate. Between the Axe, blink call, between the Phoenix, Icarus dive, Sun, Supernova, between the Storm Spirit just zipping in and causing havoc. So the Radiant team have a lot better initiation than the Dire do. I mean, the Dire do have the Mirana ulti into Shenanigans and the Panda blink clap ulti, but apart from that, they don't really have much. I think they're going to look for maybe just to pick off these Radiant heroes and then look to take a fight or push a tower, because they have decent pick off between the Mirana arrow and the Clinks. The Clinks sort of invising when he has his Orchid, which he does have now. Clinks invising Orchid's owning someone and making him sad. So the Dire team will probably just look to try farm up. They do have the better late game. Farm up, get some pickoffs, and not look to take big team fights. But the Radiant are they know they have the advantage here. They know they're 7,500 gold and 5,000 experience ahead, and they're just looking for the Dire. Nice ulti from the Mirana. We'll probably look to disjoint this initiation. And Crystal Maiden, nice ulti, but she will just go down. The sheer weight of the Metamorphosis damage just shreds the Crystal Maiden. They don't need stuns when they're dealing that much physical damage. And Mirana does get caught out by the Shackles. That powerful spell, that value point in Shackles, results in the death of the Mirana. And the Phoenix just makes up. Oh, Storm does zip in. Oh, very nice awareness from the Storm. The Panda does split. He should probably look to get one of his pandas out here. but they might actually be able to take all of them down. All they need is the Earth Panda, but the Earth Panda does survive, throws his rock, lands on the Shadow Shaman. The Shadow Shaman might go down, but the Doom can't commit with the 4 heroes of the Dire, of the Radiant in the area. So Klink's running around the background looking for a pickoff, looking for the Shadow Shaman. He will get him, but he will probably pay for his life here. That's not worth it. And then the Radiant are easily going to be able to just push the lane with Axe and pressure the Dire top tier 2 tower. And meanwhile, the Radiant creeps are just pushing the other 2 lanes in. So they can just safely push top, and the Dire heroes will just have to deal with the creeps pushing on the other 2 lanes. And now, Terrorblade, I'm not sure what he's working towards here with that 2,300 gold. We'll just have to see what that's going to be. Axe, either working towards a Shiva's or a Hex. Actually, the Hex is kind of funny. You just sort of blink in, Hex, call, and then just hit him with your big culling blade and finish him off. Shadow Shaman did go for the Ghost Scepter here, which is a nice pick because apart the Dire, their main sources of damage are physical. It is the right clicks from the Mirana, the Doom, and the Klinks that are going to be doing most of the damage. So Ghost Scepter, a wise choice, and now the Radiant will just look to go into Roche. This should be a fairly slow Roche unless Ruster pops his wards, which will almost ensure it very quickly. Mirana Arrow does scout them out. The Radiant would be wise to get back here, and they do look like they're getting back. Just aware that they know that the Dire know that they're there, so they don't want to get caught out. Terrorblade has spent some of his money. He has got an ultimate orb that is probably the Skadi. Somehow that arrow hits Terrorblade. But Storm goes in on the Panda here. He won't be able to kill him, and now Storm just zips out of the Frostbite. He might be in trouble here, but he might just be able to zip out. And in the meantime, Dire trying to go on the Radiant here, but that nice Crystal Maiden ulti might result in the death of... But no, this is a very good fight for the Dire so far. But Storm reinitiates in, has some damage. Phoenix uses his Supernova. Terrorblade picks up the Aegis, doesn't really care that the Doom has doomed him. He's just trying to find this guy. Doom forced to Shadow Blade and cower in fear. He will probably look to TP out here, or maybe push the lane when he knows no one's there. But the Radiant still have yet to lose a tower. And this sort of is a large portion of what is now probably a 10,000 gold lead and about 7.5k experience. The highest 2 heroes in net worth are the Storm and the Terrorblade, which is always an issue for these Dire heroes. The Klink's looking to go for the Storm here. Oh, and the arrow does connect. That'll secure the kill on the Storm. That'll be a nice bit of gold there for the Klinks, an extra 500 gold. That pushes him up in the net worth starts. He's probably looking to build. He's almost finished his BKB here, but just needs the recipe now. Terrorblade just pushing with his illusions. He can just do those shenanigans while he's actually just taking the Ancients. He sees the Dire heroes coming. Oh, lovely blink stomp from the Panda, but Terrorblade just swaps his health and says, "You're the one low now, and I'm on full health." They dodge the arrow, and Terrorblade regens all of his mana. That lovely play from the Terrorblade there. Awareness of his skills. And by skills, I mean his hero skills, not his own personal skills. Terrorblade just not able to get that Crystal Maiden before she TPs out. One of the problems with Terrorblade doesn't actually have a disable, so even if he chases heroes down, they can just TP out, kind of like Bloodseeker in that way. Mirana has finished her Maelstrom. That'll help her push the lanes out a bit and maybe actually get a tower eventually. Axe, he's finished his Shivas now, just needs to have some time with the courier. Klink's about 700 gold away from that BKB. Doom, he's going for an Assault Cuirass, still a bit a ways away from it though. Still about 1600 gold away from the Hyperstone, and still got the recipe to do after that. And the Radiant look to push mid tower. They look to assert their advantage and push the mid tower. They plop down the Rust Wars and look to siege. Axe, lovely blink call. Follow up from the Storm. Dunk from the Axe. That's 2 dunks. That's a 3 for nothing, and they're going to get the mid racks here. Fortification from the Dire, but that might just be a little wasted because they can't defend it anyway with 3 heroes down. This mid-rack is going to go down, and the Dire might look to rotate either top or bottom and just push the rest of the racks. They might look to finish, but seeing as this is a pub, they'll probably just look destroy as many buildings as possible, just get as much EXP as they can. Some slagging coming out from the Clinks, and the Radiant do look to push as hard as they can. They look to get a tier 4 at least. Nice heals coming out from the Phoenix, just making sure his heroes don't die. And the Radiant pushing this for the win fairly sharply. Nice dodge of the arrow from the Storm, but it actually results in the Axe. But this doesn't mean anything. Clinks has picked up his BKB, but he uses that. He'll get one use out of it, and then he'll just go down anyway. Storm zipping around, causing havoc. Axe might get another dunk here, but the Dire Ancient going down. This is going to be the end of the game. 25-minute game, nice and short. So all in all, a very dominant performance from the Radiant. A nice early farm on Terrorblade, and good coordination and execution from Storm. And Shadow Shaman, even though he didn't get his shackles early, he did manage to pick up some early levels in momentum, and that lovely play from the Axe, calling and blinking and just wreaking havoc in general. And all in all, Radiant victory, very rightly so. And thank you for joining me. This has been PizzaDog, and this is the first of what is hopefully going to be an ongoing series. You can find me on my YouTube channel or at twitch.tv/PizzaDogDota. I stream there whenever I can, and I look forward to seeing you in my next cast. Thank you for joining me, and have a lovely day.